So this video is to discuss the question asked through YouTube on the 345C. How does it work, and does anyone have a review? Well, obviously people on YouTube are free to respond, but here's my opinion on this. This is what's called a drip cap. There are two types of drip caps that are available, and well, there's two different sizes of drip caps, is what I really should say. And the shorter projection, like this one, the 9/16 projection, that's intended to be installed at the bottom of a door or at the sill of something. There is a larger projection unit that's 2.5-inch projection that is intended to be installed over the header of a door opening. And I have been personally involved in situations where there has been a mystery amount of water that intrudes into a space, and it's all but unexplainable as to where it comes from. And what happens is water seems to get into places that we just can't figure. And I'm cycling, sorry, for the other drip cap that's going to be available here. Here it is. So the other drip cap is the 346, which is a 2.5-inch projection. So I've been involved in projects where clients have been mystified as to where the water has really come from, and that mystified process is quite difficult to wrap your head around, because in one instance the client had the roofer come to the job, stood up there with a hose for 2 hours and no water came in through that roof. Would only happen when there was a reasonably heavy rain, but a moderate rain would also cause the problem. And I've sold drip caps to people, to industry professionals, people who make a living installing weather stripping. Once I've gotten them to attempt to install drip caps at the header, and then also drip caps that incorporate it as a drip seal as well, they become utterly converted to the practice of always using them from that point forward. Okay, and here's the logic as far as my opinion goes. We have at the header where we could do that 346. You basically have a header. Whether this is residential or it's commercial, the concept is really the same. You've got a header, you have a door. Okay? Door swings out. Exit device, hardware, weather stripping is in here, right? Generally. Your door sweep is going to be mounted down here at the bottom. So what happens is, in movie theaters, you'll see these drip caps, the 346, installed all the time, because that is a perfect example of where this problem lurks and comes into play. So what happens is the rain hits the wall. Well, in a movie theater, how tall is that masonry wall? 50 feet? You've got an entire movie screen inside of there. Well, if it's a double door, 6 foot wide, and it's 50 foot tall, I mean, you've got 300 square feet of area acting as a sail on a boat to collect rain, and all that rain just comes trickling down is what it does. Well, what happens in reality is that rain, probably the wall is like this, right? Probably. Or it could be flush or whatever. That water hits. That water goes this way. It trickles down. Some of it's going to lap inside, and it's going to go right down through the center of your door, right down. That's proven by the fact that if you've ever worked on a steel door that you were replacing because it was rusted, where was it rusted? It was rusted at the bottom of the door. The bottom 6 inches, the bottom 4 inches is where all the rust occurs, because that water comes in, pools and collects, and will eventually weep out. And some doors will have provisions in that bottom inverted channel called weep holes And that water will escape through the door, but what it's doing as it's coming through the door itself is it's destroying the door. It's breaking the adhesive that holds the core inside. Now that door is completely easy to literally twist. So what happened in that client's situation where the water came in, lapped in, down here, well, he's got carpeting all through on the floor of his opening. Okay? He's got his door sweep out here. There's a threshold, but not doing a great job. Well, the water's getting here. Your line of defense is here with your sweep. Water's already on the inside. Water did that water came around the tight end and heading straight for the quarterback, so to speak. And this water is just wicking to the carpet, getting it all wet. So what happens is in that scenario where the client could not explain where that water was coming from, what we did was, almost out of a last resort, I offered to the client the suggestion, you know what, I don't know where the water's coming from, but my suspicion is it's coming from the area between the top of the door and the underside of the header. Install these drip caps. So what happens is this. That drip cap gets installed. It's 2.5-inch projection. Okay. Water comes down, rolls down, and it cannot return back up this lip. It cannot. Okay. That problem, after the client installed those over his doors, that problem stopped. And for years, never to again return. So that 346 up at the header was outrageous. Well, the same logic really does go for the door itself, because down on the door where you've got a threshold, where's your line of defense? Well, obviously here's where your sweep is. Okay? But if you put that 345 down here, or a model that incorporates a 345 drip cap, you are really driving that rain away from where you want your line of defense to be. Even that 9/16 has proven to be incredibly crucial because, again, the water doesn't mysteriously defy gravity, hit the face of the door, then come down. Okay, so that's really our opinion when it comes to the effectiveness of drip caps installed at the bottom or at the header, proven by experience of actually having sold them in the past. If you have any further questions on how a drip cap works, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. My name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. Thank you.